Let us do some revision on cooperative society together.
Hi Zuhairi, do you have any sample question?
Oh wait, let me share it to you via WhatsApp.
Great, thank you.
Do you get any idea to answer this question?
I don't think so. Let us look at the YouTube about explanation for a cooperative society. Maybe it will help us to get some information about it.
Oh, that's a great idea. After that, we will try to solve this question together.
Okay.
Hi, today we're going to talk about cooperative society. Do you know what is cooperative society? It is commonly known as a cooperative and is a form of organization that based on principle and value. These are governed by Cooperative Act 1993. In Malaysia, the information, registration and regulation of cooperative are overseen by the Cooperative Commission of Malaysia (SKM). Those regulation and registration to ensure that cooperative will comply with legal requirement and operate in accordance with cooperative principle. Cooperative society in Malaysia also contribute to economic development when they operate and do their daily business. Next, my friend will explain about tax treatment for cooperative society.
Tax treatment for cooperative society. In terms of income tax, cooperative society don't follow the principle of mutuality. This means that they are taxed on income from both mutual involving members and non-mutual activities. Income from mutual activity include things like interest, processing fee and membership fee received from the society's member and staff. The chargeable income of a cooperative society is determined according to Section 5 of the Income Tax Act ITA 1967. To ascertain the statutory income, only expenses that are wholly and exclusively incurred in the production of income are allowed. Expenses of a domestic and capital nature are not permitted. Additionally, special deduction under paragraph 65A subsection A and 65A subsection B of the ITA 1967 are provided when calculating the chargeable income of a cooperative society.
For tax exemption for cooperative, therefore under paragraph 12 of Schedule C, it says for newly registered cooperative, they will get tax exemption for 5 years from the date of registration for any income they get. After 5 years, the cooperative society is still exempted from tax only if the member fund of the first date of basis period is less than 750,000 ringgit. Member fund is defined as aggregate of paid-up capital in respect of share or subscription, statutory reserve such as reversion of fixed asset, balance of share premium account, and last one is balance of profit or loss. Paid-up capital refer to subscription and issuance of share. It is not included bonus of issuance share created by revaluation of fixed asset. Meanwhile, statutory reserve fund is in cooperative society refer to specific type of reserve fund that is mandated by law or statute. What I mean by reserve, it is other than capital reserve created by revaluation of fixed asset and provision for depreciation, renewal and or replacement. Meanwhile, for balance of share account, it is to be transferred to share capital account taking effect on 1st of February 2019. I think that's all from me. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, for the special deductions, I have divided it into 4 parts. For part A is total income, part B, comparison between 25% of net income and amount of various funds, and part C is 8% of member funds, and part D is the chargeable income. For part A, the total income that we must use from the cooperative society is from the year ended of the assessment. For example, that we want to calculate for the assessment of 2023, so we must use the total income from that year. Part B, comparisons between 25% of net profits and amount of various funds. For 25% of net profits, we will just use if the total net income is 1 million and just calculate for the quarter of the 1 million and it is 250k. Okay, for the amount of various funds that I have found is 3. Okay, first one is statutory reserve funds. Second that I have found is any educational institutions and cooperative organizations that is established for cooperate. And the third one is other cooperative trusts. Okay, if we found any 3 of it, we must total it, and after we total it, we must compare with a quarter of the net income that I have just talked, and we must choose which is lower one, because in this part, if the net profit is the lower one, we will choose the net profits. Part C, 8% of members' fund. The amount of members' funds that must be recognized on the first day of the year of assessment. If there's not recognized on the first day of the assessment, it cannot be included in the total amount. And the 8% of the total amount, we must calculate it from the total amount that has been recognized only. The last part is Part D, chargeable income. Chargeable income is the result from the process of calculation from Part A is minus by Part B and Part C. So, you will get the chargeable income.
Tax rate. Cooperative society is subject to taxation based on the scale rate specified in Part IV of Schedule 1 of the Income Tax Act ITA of 1967. In other words, the tax liability of a cooperative society are determined according to the prescribed rate outlined in the mentioned section of the ITA 1967. Computation of chargeable income and tax payable. The income of a cooperative society is exempted at the level of chargeable income, while the cooperative society may be eligible for tax exemption in a given year. It is necessary to calculate the adjusted income or losses and capital allowance for each assessment year. Any losses and excess capital allowance that cannot be offset in a particular year can be carried forward to future year for potential deduction.
The PAHC Society was registered as a cooperative society on 1 January 2010. The following information has been extracted from its account for the relevant years. The question is compute the chargeable income for the year of assessment 2017. Okay.
Why the income for the year assessment 2014 will be exempted?
Because the cooperative is registered on 1st January 2010. So within the period of 5 years will be exempted to tax. Then the next year of assessment, we will look at the members fund. If it's less than 750,000 ringgit, the cooperative will be exempt from tax. But if it more than will be subjected to tax.
We'll try to answer the second question. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. I will explain about how I get this answer. So the question is compute the taxable income for the year assessment 2019. So we will get total income that is given on the table. That is we assume net profit per RD is total income. So we will go in this 700,000. So we will less payment to cooperative society, that is payment to a cooperative educational fund 160,000, and members fund percent from 860,000. Members fund is balanced as at 1 January at the figure of 68,800. So taxable income is 471,200. So we will calculate the income tax charge. We will use tax rate table. Because it exceeds 250 but more than 500,000, so we will use 21% as the tax rate. So tax on first is 250,000, that is 31,000, and tax on next is remaining balance after 470,200 minus 250,000. So we will get 46,452. So after tax that we will get total income tax payable, that is 77,452. So I think I understand this topic now. That's all from me. Okay, that's all.
Zuhairi, thank you for your time. Bye-bye.
Thank you for your time too.
Bye-bye.